Use renewable energy sources, plant more trees, reduce the burning of fossil fuels, reduce meat consumption, and recycle. We have all heard these environmentally friendly tips at some point, whether by word of mouth or on TV and radio ads. But these actions play a key role in climate change mitigation.
Mitigating climate change is all about reducing greenhouse gas emissions that are going into the planet. And so these greenhouse gases are mainly carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. And so any efforts that you can do to reduce your impact on the earth, improve your green footprint would be efforts to mitigate climate change.
If you switch from a diesel-powered vehicle to an electric vehicle, you're engaging in a mitigation activity. If you switch from electricity coming from fossil fuel sources and you switch to solar panels, you're using a renewable form of electricity, and that's climate change mitigation.
Belize has a minute impact on the global scale when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions. This is attributed to the abundance of Belize's lush forests.
Belize actually is a net absorber of greenhouse gas emissions, and what that means is that our ability to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere exceeds what we emit. We do still emit emissions from the different sectors, and so these would include the primary ones would be, of course, the energy sector. So Belize emits a lot from the transport sector, cars running on the road, domestic aviation, and marine use, as well as in the agriculture sector, from conversion of forest land to land used for agricultural purposes. So this could be for crops as well as for livestock production.
The GHG emissions from Belize are negligible, at less than 0.5% when compared to those from developing countries, which contribute over 45% of worldwide emissions. So what's the GHG inventory for Belize, and which industries are included?
The National Climate Change Office is responsible for preparing and submitting Belize's National Greenhouse Gas Inventory. It's accounting for emissions that are occurring by sector, in different economic sectors. So this could be the energy sector, transport, agriculture, forestry and land use change, industry, and waste.
When solid waste was not being managed properly, it was being burned in open dump site. And so burning of waste leads to a lot of greenhouse gas emissions.
Even though Belize is a net absorber of greenhouse gas emissions, there are a number of mitigation strategies that have been established to assist with reducing the effects of climate change. The National Environmental Assessment Committee, within the government framework, takes into consideration the impacts of climate change on communities.
The Department of Environment was enacted or was created in around 1992 with the passage of the Environmental Protection Act. At that time, solid waste was a major environmental issue in Belize. We began to work and we supported the passage of the Solid Waste Management Act, which basically created the Solid Waste Management Authority. The compliance plan is where the department put all the mitigation in place, and we have mitigation in place for climate change issues. So, for example, we don't allow the clearing of vegetation along any surface water. We only allow minimal removal of mangrove around coastal developments. In addition to that, there are some other activities that measures that we have put in place for the agricultural sector, for these large agricultural projects, etc., etc. So we have done quite a bit.
Anything that can be done to lessen greenhouse gas emissions adds to the ultimate goal of reducing the severity of climate change and its related effects.